Hey everyone, and welcome back to Flying Papa. My name is David, and I am Flying Papa. Like a regular Papa, only way cooler. I'm a 50-something private pilot working on my instrument rating. I began my instrument training in February of 2021. Yep, that was over a year ago. In this video, I'll talk about my journey so far with a focus on how I passed my instrument rating exam with a 95%. I hope some of the information I share will help you be successful as well. I live in the San Diego area, and we have pretty good weather here all year long. However, there are those times when living near the coast presents weather challenges like fog and rain later. With a few days of having plans to fly only to be delayed or shut out by weather, I decided to work towards my instrument rating. Weather was not the only deciding factor in getting my IFR ticket. I consider myself a lifelong learner, and I recognize that knowledge is power. I know the knowledge I can gain from an IFR rating will make me a safer pilot for myself and, more importantly, those who travel with me, my wife, kids, grandkids, friends, and relatives. So let's get started. When I decided to start my IFR training, I was a very low time pilot. I had to work on the required flight times such as cross-country time to ensure I met the requirements at check ride. I started learning on my own by watching YouTube videos, just like the one you're watching right now, to begin the learning process. I understood I would have to be careful with the information I took from these videos, as they may not be completely accurate. I used much of the information to confirm the information that I already knew was correct. I wanted to get an understanding of what the rating was all about, of course. Later, I'll give a plug to those YouTubers who, in my opinion, are great resources and places to start, and who explain things in a way I could understand based on my learning style. And learning style has a lot to do with the way that you're going to retain the information. For my private pilot certificate, I decided to take an in-person ground school course offered at a local community college. Although this path is not for everyone, I really like the interaction with the instructor and the other students. Being able to ask questions of the instructor to clarify information in class was great, and having other students to bounce things off of during the class and after class time was also great as well. I decided to take the same path with my instrument rating. I signed up for the instrument ground school at the same local community college. The course was taught by a well-respected CFII in the local aviation community. The course was very basic and was not meant to fully prepare you for the written exam, nor could the instructor give the necessary endorsements to take the exam. So that may be something you want to consider, and that was given to us right up front. The course did, however, provide a great groundwork to continue my preparation for the written exam. I did a Google search and found many community colleges do offer similar aviation courses, so that's something you may want to consider. I purchased the King Schools online self-study course. I used King Schools for my preparation for my PPL written test and was pretty successful. Although King School's videos may be a bit dated, I found all the information set me up for success. I'm the kind of person who wants to know the material, not just memorize it. The videos and explanations within the King Schools program, coupled with the college course, really gave me a solid understanding of the information, and I found most of the questions I saw on the King practice test were very close, if not exact, to the questions I saw on the real test. At the completion of the King's course, you can print an authorization to take the written test, which is definitely a plus. After finishing the King's course and the King practice test, I did use other practice test resources, which were free by the way, to enhance my understanding of how the test questions are or can be formatted. Now, Sporty's was one of those websites, as well as the PSI exam website at psiexams.com. If you took your private pilot written test in the last few years, you're probably familiar with PSI. PSI is the online scheduling website for the FAA written exams. Using Sporties and PSI to continue to test my knowledge gave me great confidence. Before taking the written exam, I decided to begin the flying portion of my training. Doing this reinforced many of the things I had learned so far. I was able to apply the things I had only read about or watched on a video. This was very helpful for my understanding of all of the material while seeing things in real life. I did find a great instructor at First Flight, a flight school located at Brownfield in San Diego. And I'd recommend that if you're ever in the San Diego area, checking out First Flight for instruction or plane rentals. And by the way, they do have the cheapest avgas in town. I had some discussions with my instructor about my preparation for the written test. He suggested I consider using Shepherd Air for my written test prep. I had previously heard of Shepherd Air and looked at their website, but decided not to use them since I had already purchased and was already using the King's Schools course. I had success, as I mentioned before, with the PPL test using King's, and I scored a 98 on that test, so tried and true. I figured I'd stick with that. But because my instructor, whose opinion I valued, suggested Shepherd Air, and because the course was very inexpensive compared to other online study courses, I decided it couldn't hurt to further enhance my chances of getting a high score on the test. Shepherd Air has a specific method of learning the material. The program gives you specific instructions on how to use the study materials. They emphasize the best way to achieve a high score on the written test is to follow their study process exactly. Although the program does provide some learning information with explanations of the questions and answers, it did provide insight into the correct answer for the written test questions based on what other test takers reported seeing on their tests. For me, this again only enhanced what I already learned and gave me another tool to get the highest score possible. And the price for the material was right too. Shepherd Air suggests not taking their practice tests without completing the process of studying the material. They also suggest not taking the actual test until you score at least a 90% on their practice tests. Seems this is to provide a buffer to ensure you achieve at least a passing score on test day. Another note on Shepherd Air: to get started, you must call Shepherd Air directly to buy their program. I found it a very easy process. Once purchased, the program is good for 1 year. Lastly, I'd like to give you a couple of YouTube resources I found helpful so far in my journey. The information these videos provided was presented in an easy to understand way, and I found the information provided accurate and very useful, which was important since I didn't want to confuse myself with bad information. The first I'll mention is Flight Insight. I can't remember the guy's name who is the voice of Flight Insight, but I found his presentations very easy to follow. Flight Insight provides many lessons that I found very helpful. From what I can see, and some of the emails I received after signing up to receive those emails from Flight Insight, it appears they do offer an online ground school course. Had I known this before I purchased the King's Schools program, I likely would have given Flight Insight a try. If you sign up for the emails, they will also send you free quizzes to let you test your knowledge on various aviation topics. Another YouTube site I'll mention is Fly with the Guys. I don't think Fly with the Guys are flight instructors, but I enjoy watching their videos for things such as how to talk to ATC, info on requirements to obtain a certain certificate or rating, and other bits of useful info for private pilots. There are many others, but these are the two I think helped me the most thus far. All of these resources together helped me achieve a 95% on my IFR written exam and are setting me up well to prepare for my check ride. I probably didn't need to take the college course, but it was a nice icebreaker into my IFR training, and I met several great people who I stay in touch with today. One of them has been my safety pilot while practicing under the hood. You'll have a chance to meet him in a future video. Watch as I continue my training on Instagram at Flying Papa and by subscribing to my YouTube channel. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe and feel free to share thoughts in the comments below. And remember, I'm Flying Papa, like a regular papa, only way cooler. See you next time.